Welcome to Health and Healing Chronicles. I'm your coach, Versandra Kennebrew, and I'm excited once again to share stories with you that will inspire you to action on your journey to health and healing. The question I'd like to pose today is, since detoxification is so very important, where are all the toxins coming from? Whether the Gregorian calendar or the lunar calendar is your primary guide to time and space, a major shift in energy has occurred, and only seems natural to cleanse and detox right now. Let go of the old and embrace the new. Some refer to getting rid of things around the house that no longer serve them as a detox, while others focus on fasting from eating certain foods as their detox. There's no wrong answer here. However, since toxins are foreign invaders that may cause dis-ease when absorbed into our body tissues, consciously, our consciousness, or our homes, ongoing detoxification should become a part of our wellness routine. So over the next few minutes, we're going to talk a little bit about where these foreign invaders are coming from and how they are attacking our body tissues, our homes, and our consciousness. Akhenaten and I are just going to talk about some of the ones that are more common than not in pretty much every home in America. And we want you to know that there are very easy ways of making sure that you are combating some of these things that are attacking you or attacking your homes or your atmosphere. And we're going to make sure that you understand that you do not have to suffer as a result of them being around or in your space on an ongoing basis. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the stuff that we're breathing.
Yeah, for real.
Now, most people call it pollution. And I guess that's the easiest term for it, because I'm talking from the moment that we wake up in the morning. Of course, some of the toxins are just in our homes. We're going to talk about that in a few moments because we're going to talk about foreign invaders in our home. But we're just talking about when we go outside, when we're supposed to be breathing in fresh air. Now, we know that pollution is generally a lot more dense when it comes down to areas that are right in a highly populated city where there are lots of cars and transportation that's going on in the area, multiple vehicles of transportation. And some of the things that are causing us to breathe in toxins, especially like say in the area where I live, where there's an airport, there are some things that are in the air. What do we call those things? I think most people call them chemtrails. That's bunches and bunches of thousands. I mean, I can't even call the number of how many pollutants are escaping and into the atmosphere. But then there's also in the city areas where we have all of the trucks, the cars. We have all kinds of mobile units that don't have the best emissions. And we know that the United States happens to be one of the areas in the world that has some of the greatest pollution. So that's definitely one area. But then even more near and dear to our bodies, because so many of us have this thing where we want to smell good. We want to make sure we are appealing to the opposite sex, know. And so we put on these wonderful scented perfumed lotions and skincare imposters, I call it. It's skincare, but then it's also causing all kinds of harm to our body. So that's definitely an imposter there. So what we want to look at as a substitute or something that's even better for us we're going to look for non-perfumed fragrances, something that maybe comes from essential oils or natural fragrances.
Right.
And we also want to make sure that those lotions and other potions they are free of dyes. That's another thing that can be toxic to the skin that goes into the body. Parabens, yes, definitely. There, are many natural and organic grocery stores and body shops around the area where you can go and specifically ask for those lotions and potions and skincare products that will not have any of those substances in them that end up causing our body harm. Because just imagine you are placing it on the very largest organ of the body, the skin, and then it's going into the pores directly. And then if you are placing the dyes, the toxins and everything directly onto the skin, then of course it goes into the blood and then it flows through, and then now we've got it all over and inside of the body.
Right. You're getting a double dose of it, actually.
Yeah.
You're getting it in your skin, and you're inhaling it.
Yes. So now we're talking about two different things there, but both of those are really causing us, just so many issues. Some people are walking around scratching and itching and everything, and then of course they go and take these pills to try to relieve the itching, and then in the process they're causing even more toxins and putting it right into their mouths. So here we are.
You mean the medications are toxic?
Exactly.
So they compound toxicity.
Yes. So that's a lot. It really is a lot. And we're just in one section now. So now we're going to move on to the foreign invaders that invade our home. Now, I'm just really blown away at carpet. And the fact that people still want carpet in their homes after it's been proven that there are literally millions of carcinogens that are found inside of carpets. But for some people that is a personal preference, because I think it kind of, for a lot of people that have children especially, they like the fact that it's a buffer to noise. But at what cost are you going to buffer the noise when...
Or a fall.
Or, yes, of course, that's definitely another thing that people look at. Yeah, but you said the key thing, fears. And you can't let fears get in the way of your personal health and well-being. And so you want to make sure that if it's at all possible, that you have floors, hardwood floors that are well maintained, that are dusted and mopped on frequently, so that the dust mites and dust doesn't end up causing problems as well. But definitely as much as you can get away from the carpets, the better it's going to be for your health. I'm talking allergens. I'm talking about, so many people.
What is that called? Bromelain. It's really a petroleum chemical that's on the carpet. Yeah. And that's what's dangerous.
Yes. And
children are just sucking on that, and the hands, and it's, because this penetrates the hands and in the skin, as you were talking about before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, if you were to take a light and just kind of shine it in any particular area, it doesn't even have to be any place special. Just put a light and kind of shine it there and watch the stuff just kind of floating around in the air. And then as you're breathing in and out, it's just going right into your body. As so many people are, I guess, I don't know if it's vanity or whatever the case may be, they want to cut the hair out of their nose, so that they don't have hair coming from their nose. But there's a purpose for that hair in your nose. It's there to try to be a filter, so that not only pollutants and things that may cause adverse reactions to your body are blocked before they actually get into the body, but Another thing that it does is just really cools the air that's coming into your body as well, and causes it to
When
feel
you're smelling it, yeah.
exactly.
People think, as you mentioned, home, but it's same thing. I don't know if you're gonna cover that part, but it's in the cars. People go in and
definitely
they smell it. Oh, this smells
the
good.
new car smell.
But it is so carcinogenic. The
Yes.
things that they are ingesting or inhaling.
Yes, most definitely. And then the final area that I want to talk about really is where foreign invaders are wreaking havoc on our consciousness. And it's really sneaky how these invaders come into our consciousness and cause us to basically become toxic in our thinking. And sometimes you can say it's just error thinking based on false information. But then we have these very vivid illusions that appear to be real, and they make us even feel. I mean, they give us these feelings as if we are separated, from one another. These
Right,
feelings
right.
that we are separated from the source, of all of our good. And these illusions, they can just really mess up our consciousness to the point that it causes dis-ease. And that's what we're really talking about here when we're talking about detoxifying. We are talking about eliminating as much as we can these things that can cause dis-ease or disorder
Right.
in our bodies, our minds, and then in our environment.
So we talking about mental pollution, huh?
Oh, yes, most definitely. So I know there are many other things that you could probably think about, Witch Doctor. These were the things that came to mind. I don't really want to bombard our listeners with, so many, because there's literally
There's
hundreds.
a whole lot of them. You,
You
don't want
know.
me to get into the electrical.
Oh, please
pollution.
do. Please do. Please do.
There's
Because
many
you
of
are
us.
an expert in that area, and I would love for you to share some of those things as well.
Yeah, like one of the things I carry on my cell phone as a protector based on tachyon technology. And there's others that do that help prevent the EMFs, the electromagnetic fields, from penetrating our neurons, So it's important that we recognize that they do have an impact on us. I'll give you an example. Most of the time, people don't realize how impactful electric energy is until they have an AM radio and they ride under those power lines and they hear it disrupt their radio. Well, imagine what it's doing to your body as you go through those energy fields. And I pity those who have that lack of knowledge and they have brought property in where these lines are going directly over, and especially those high voltage lines that their home is directly under or in proximity to it, real close proximity. So those are some of the things that really have an impact that we don't think about. And but if we really just think and go back to basic biology and chemistry, that our brain is an electrical circuit. Our nervous systems are an electrical circuit. Now they have what they call microbiology, or not microbiology. What is that? The study of they had this technology. I don't know why it escapes me, but it's the what you call it, the electrobiology, where this is why you have arms. When people have missing arms, they are able to incorporate another mechanical arm based on signals that are still there
Even after
even
arm
after
has
the
been
arm is gone.
removed. Yes.
Right. So we're electrical circuits.
Yes, we
And if
are.
there's anything that impedes that, and there's a lot of pros and cons on it in terms of electric cell phones being up on people's head, and now they got them in their ears, and this is closer to the central nervous system control center, if you
Yes.
will, in the brain. And there's been quite a few studies that have, where their assessment is that it's causing cancer of
Yes.
the brain.
Yes. And I've heard about, situations where women, carrying their cell phones, in their bras, that
Right.
type of thing,
Right.
and ending up with breast cancer. And then
Right.
I've also heard situations where men and women both are experiencing, issues in their reproductive organs because of carrying cell phones in their pockets and stuff. So there are definitely things that we need to be just mindful of. That's the most important thing, because we can't be fearful of everything that's possible to cause damage and disease to our body, but we can be mindful.
We can be mindful. We can be aware.
We can
and
be
that's our,
aware.
That's our role here, is to help people to be more aware of situations. One final thing I would just suggest, it's a time to drink a lot of water right now, right? And it's
Yes.
important to drink that water. But our quality of water is so important. It's important to drink water. Some people are still using the tap water out of their sink, not realizing that the tap water is connected to the sewer system, because the
Yes.
sewer system gets recycled through the recycling center and comes back through the supply.
Yes.
So that means not only is it from the toxic waste being filtered out, but other things are being filtered out, but there are some things that are not filtered out.
Antibiotics.
Exactly.
Oh my
Pharmaceuticals
God. Yes.
that are getting in, because nobody's taking that filter to do that. It filters out some other things. We're not talking about, not to mention the bad stuff, fluoride, chlorine in the system that's so called to keep it
Cleanse.
cleansed and sanitized. But that's going into your body, which causes scarring of the tissue. And this is why in European countries they have outlawed chlorine. Because the important thing, not only about drinking it, see, because a lot of people, they get their filter system for their water. They buy spring water, distilled water, or they get their alkaline water, and they take care of what they drink. But they lose sight of one important thing. Taking a bath or shower, you consume more water than you can ever drink.
You got that right.
When you're sitting in the water, your skin is absorbing all the toxins that came through. So all that pharmaceutical stuff, and we got a lot of pharmaceutical drugs out there that people are taking, and when they have their bowel movement, it goes through, and sometimes just pass right on through, and it goes through the system, and people begin to absorb it through their skin, like you said.
Yes. And I've told many people, if you just go to the state of Georgia's water,
Oh, yeah.
You go to the website there, and you will find a report that is reported each year that tells you about the quality of the water. You can do this in any state that you're from, because I found, I didn't check, each and every one, but I checked about 12 of them, and they all had the same exact disclaimer. But that disclaimer will let you know that this water is not safe for excuse me, persons with diabetes or chronic diseases. If you have heart disease and if you're on this type of medication, do not drink the water from your faucet. It tells you that. And so it's like, okay, there's a disclaimer that's telling you this water's not safe. But I am very excited, to say to our listeners that, as a consultant, a nutrition and wellness consultant for Atlanta Food and Farm, I'm excited that it is a primary objective for us to make sure that quality hydration is understood by everybody here in the Atlanta area.
Because y'all do classes on that too, right?
Yes, we do ongoing classes. We show you the difference between the different types of water, and we advocate for alkaline water being drank by, almost everyone, because we understand also that because of all of the toxins, because of all of the imbalance in our pH system, that so many people are highly acidic. And with that being said, you have so much acid in our bodies and stuff, and the pH is off. That means that your hormones are imbalanced. That means that there's so many other things that are in your body that's not functioning as it should. And when you increase the alkalinity in your body, you also increase your body's defense against the toxins and the things in your body that could be coming in as an invader to wreak havoc. You can actually strengthen your body's immunity and make sure that, they say that that cancer can't even exist in a body that is high in alkaline. And so that is one of the things that I really, really appreciate about this organization and the things that we are doing on an ongoing basis in the community. Just for the record, we do have a Facebook page as well.
Well, make sure you put it on the Night Watch Expressions
most
program,
definitely.
especially since we're talking about it.
Yes,
so people
I will put it on the Night Watch Expressions page
and make that link.
Most definitely.
And not to let people know, because we always, as you said, it's not to intimidate anyone and give them a sense of intimidation or anxiety.
Or in fear.
Just that whole fear aspect. What we do is bring to your attention your awareness of what is going on. But we don't just talk about the problem. We give you solutions. And so when I mentioned about the bath, this is what we have. At our home, we encourage people through the coaching program. That's one of the things to do to address that issue, to get a filter.
Just get a filter.
And there's
simple.
filters that you can get at your normal stores, that home builder stores, at your preference. Just ask around, do a little research. Now, there's different qualities of them, because some filters filter out more things than others. But it's a start.
Most definitely.
If go with your affordability, and just work your way up,
Exactly.
And some of them you'd be surprised. They're not that much at all, $20 or so get you a pretty decent one. It doesn't get everything, but it gets the primary ones that are out, like the chlorine.
Right.
In issues that are real concern, because as I said, the chlorine that's in the water, and this is why I'm against the swimming pools during this time, because you can use other substances like saline to make sure the water is purified. Might have to do a little more care than the chlorine field, because what chlorine does is scar the tissues of the veins, arteries, and that's what produces strokes, because you get cholesterol buildup that can't go through because they get stuck. Instead of a smooth surface in the blood vessels, you have the scarring of the tissue. Sometimes they call it plaque, in the tissue. This is what the chlorophyll does. deteriorates those
Chlorine.
chlorine deteriorates that the blood vessels.
Yes.
So that's what caused those what do they call them, not
Microscopic.
no, when you having the where the blood vessels begin to burst,
Oh, okay.
and that's because of the breakdown of the blood vessels. You know how to give you an example. I don't know why the other medical term is not coming on me, but you have like a flat tire. You know, a tire that when we rode our bike, we saw them little bubbles on our flat tire. So that's what, a challenge is for us on of understand. Just an example of understanding what happens in the blood aneurysm. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Okay, aneurysms of the blood vessels.
Yeah, there's just so much. And, I think we kind of skipped over the thing that we can do in our homes, to kind of filter out some of the toxins. And I think I don't remember.
You hit on some of the essential oils.
Yes.
Because they're microbial.
Yes. And antifungal, antibacterial, those type of things are definitely found in the essential oils. But just simply changing the filter on your furnace and your heating and cooling system. Changing
and
those
putting
filters.
some essential oils on it, on the filter.
Yes,
it makes the house smell better too.
Definitely cleaning out the filters in your laundry machines, your not only in your dryer, but if you have a filter in the washing machine as well, to make sure that those are cleaned and changed out. And then also we want to make sure that even our drinking water, we talked about the filter on the shower and stuff, but it's just as simple to change the filter in your kitchen, or even have a pitcher of water that has a filter. And even if you just want to do your filtration or adding some good essential good stuff, using fruit, lemons, limes, cucumbers, that type of thing, and adding that to your water to make sure that you are combating some of the toxins that could be in your water. So, hopefully those are some very easy things that our listeners can, put into action right away, and make sure they are moving toward a more healthy and happy and prosperous you. So we want to thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Health and Healing Chronicles. Again, I am Coach Versandra, your holistic health expert. And until next week, I want you to remember,